Hello and welcome everybody to Big Bold You, a show that is dedicated to inspiring people to play bigger in your life. And I don't care who you are, you can play bigger. Yes, you can. I don't care if you're a stay-at-home mom, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a CEO, and I know my husband is watching and he is a CEO and he can play bigger. On the weekends when I see him resting, I say, honey, you can do more. We can all do more. So this show, we're going to be coming to you every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. And we are going to have an Ask a Life Coach segment. And I would love it if you would send me a video. We're getting great videos in, but we want you to send us videos and just really ask a life coach. What are the issues that you're dealing with? What are your obstacles? How can we help you play bigger? We're also going to be inspiring people to be bolder, which means you've got to step out of your comfort zones. And I don't care who you are, you're staying in your comfort zones. In fact, that's where people want to live, is in their comfort zones. I mean, we are wired, our brain is actually wired to keep us safe, but nothing substantial happens in that comfort zone. So we're going to help you get out of those comfort zones. And most importantly, we want you to be authentically you, because that really is your power. Now, every week, we're also going to have a certain show topic as well as a phenomenal guest. And our show topic today is that you cannot succeed alone. And really, basically, how do you find the right people that you're going to play with? Now, to my left here, I have an incredible guest, Sherrie Thomas. I love her. She is amazing. And each and every one of you are going to fall in love with her like I have. So before we jump into the Ask a Life Coach video, just briefly tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
I am a stranger that she met at a store. No,
save that for after. But that is true though.
No, but I'm an artist. I'm a divorced mother of 3. I sew, I paint, I draw, do a lot of abstract type of things.
I know. This is actually one of her beautiful pieces. This necklace, she is a creative genius and she is a designer. She's an artist, and you're going to see some of the things that she has made and created, and she's going to tell a lot about her story and really how we met, because that is a very interesting story. I've told so many people. In fact, on the show last week, when my son was here, I was telling everybody, because one of the things he said was, "Mom, hug it," or he said everybody should hug a stranger. Yeah. And I said, that's exactly what happened with Sherrie. So before we get to the story, I think that our topic today, you can't succeed alone, is so important, because I think a lot of people are trying to succeed alone. Yes. And you think that's what you're supposed to do, but it's just never going to work.
It makes it harder.
It makes it harder. It makes it impossible. You really cannot succeed alone. But then the next question is, well, if you can't succeed alone, who are the right people that you associate with? And we're going to get into that. But I've got a little quote. And Rick is amazing. He's going to show us that quote. And here's the quote of the day here. So, you are the sum of the 5 people that you associate with the most. All right, now I want you to just kind of let that sink in. All right, everybody? Because here's the deal. Look around. And who are the 5 people that you are associating with the most? Now, if you want to be a millionaire, are you associating with millionaires? Right. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, are you associating with other successful entrepreneurs? Do you want to be a crybaby and a whiner? You might be hanging out with some crybabies and some whiners. So what I'm saying is take an inventory of the people that you are associating with, and realize that that is just a fact. You know, I can't tell you how many people I know that they have huge aspirations, which I know you do.
Right.
I mean, you have been blessed with some phenomenal gifts and talents. And how long have you been trying to do things on your own?
For about 7 years.
7 years.
Reinvesting in myself. When I first started, I wasn't putting as much into myself.
Yeah, come closer to the microphone.
I come closer.
Okay. You weren't investing in yourself.
Not as much when I first started. And it was like every year I would challenge myself, because originally everyone knew me as an abstract artist. So that was just with paint and molding paste. But each year I'm like, okay, Sherrie, what else can you do?
So for about 7 years, have you been hanging around the right people?
Trying to find them.
We're gonna
trying to find them.
Hey, I told you I was at jury duty. I was getting there as fast as I could, and I did. But we're gonna jump into your story because it's phenomenal, and I know that your story is gonna really inspire and help so many people that are watching. And you know, here's the thing: is as you listen to these stories, what I want you to do is think about, you know, where are you individually in your journey? And if you listen to Sherrie's story, which you're going to hear in a few minutes, and it inspires you because you know somebody that is in the exact same position, please share this with those people, because we want to inspire other people to play bigger. That's what this is all about. As my son said last week, we're brainwashing you with positivity. Okay.
Yeah, it's a challenge, but it's something that you have to do, is step outside of your comfort zone or the box. That's what I'm finding myself doing slowly but surely. I'm taking baby steps, trying to get out of that comfort zone and out of that box. And meeting you was like one of the best things that could have ever happened.
I know. And you know what? Christy brought us some Kleenex.
Yeah, she's been making me cry.
We might cry in a little bit. We're just going to tell you right now that we might cry because it really was a divine appointment. I swear.
Well, it's so funny because it's like me. I'm normally a very strong person. You know, I have a schedule of set things to do in my mind, you know, because I'm a mom. I'm like, okay, I got to do this, got to do this. So I'm always so focused. So for someone to pull me out of that and make me cry, you know, not necessarily just cry, but it was like your spirit is so welcoming and comforting, you know, and that's what I love most about you, and encouraging.
Well, you know, here's the thing is, I love people, and I know that people are sent here with greatness. And I just know that you can't succeed alone, and you've got to be with the right people. And I can tell when people are with the right people, and I can tell when people aren't with the right people. And we're going to share that story. But before she starts crying, because I'm not going to let her cry.
Please
I mean,
don't.
every time I'm going to start dancing a little jig over here if I need to. But by the end of the end of the show, you might cry, but hopefully not. Hopefully she won't make me cry. But if you do, that's okay. But before we start, let's get to our Ask a Life Coach video.
Hi, I'm Heather Paul from McKinney, Texas, and my question for Ask a Life Coach is, what can I do to make the absolute best use of my experience with a life coach?
Okay, so I love it that she said, what's my best experience? What can I do? Right. Now, first and foremost, I love it that she is looking for a life coach, because number one, you can't succeed by yourself. I don't care what your zone of genius is. You don't know it all. And like we have said, you got to get out of that comfort zone. So the first thing is you got to pick the right coach. You know, you want to make sure that when you're aligning with someone, which is part of what our topic is, how do you find the right people, is you got to find people that really know what they're doing. You got to find people that have results. You got to have people know and associate with people that are able to really motivate you. And I'm not saying that a certain coach might not be a good coach, but maybe they're not the right coach for you.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that we talked about was, you said, I like the way you make me feel.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it's important to have someone that encourages you, you know, because there's so many people out there. It's like 1 billion people on the earth, right? And you can meet someone, and sometimes they're just talking, but are they really talking to you? Are they speaking to your soul? The content that they're bringing to you, does it add value to you? All those things are important.
It's so important. And you know, I know friends that are life coaches, or I know people that have gone to life coaches. And then how many of you have ever seen, what was that show, The Biggest Loser or something?
Oh, yeah.
And they had what the life coach, it was like a drill sergeant. But you know, some of them, they're mean. I mean, and that's the way they motivate people. And for some people, you need someone to be mean to you. Now, I don't like that. That's not what I do. I don't like people to be mean to me. But you know, some people, that's how they're motivated.
Some people need that extra push, you know, and I guess it just depends on the individual.
Right. I think y'all put a comment, maybe men like to be treated that way. And women like to be treated with kind of kid gloves. I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think about that. But I do think you got to pick the right coach for you. And
Very true.
I think another thing that's really important is when you are picking a coach, you're not just picking them as an individual, but you're also picking their network. So for you, if you're at a position where, you know, you need somebody that has a big network of people, then when you're picking your life coach, that's something that you want to consider. You know, there's some people that they're in a position where they don't need that big network, but there are a lot of people that do. And if you're going to pay someone, you might as well be paying them for their network as well. So number one, you got to pick the right coach. Number two, you have to be coachable. I mean, one of the things that I say all the time is, and it blows my mind because I know people that do this, and Sherry's not like this, but some people will pay people for their expertise and for their knowledge, and then they won't do what they tell them to do. They're not coachable. So they say, hey, you need to do X, Y, Z, and then they say, no.
You gotta be open to opportunity.
You got to be open and you got to be coachable, which is one of the things that when Sherrie and I met, I mean, basically, she was like, I'm just going to do whatever you tell me to do.
I didn't even know who she was. I didn't know. It was just a genuine connection.
It was a genuine connection. And I think the third thing that somebody has to do is you got to make a commitment, which is what Sherrie has done. I mean, Sherrie didn't know that she was going to be on the show.
No.
I mean, we just met May 21st. Right. We met May 21st. So basically, it's been a month. And I've said, Sherrie, okay, this is what we're going to do. And she said, okay. And she's made that commitment, but you've made that commitment even before. So, and I think the last thing is you really have to evaluate your results. So if you're going to work with someone, if it's going to be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, or however long you're going to work with them, at the end of that period, evaluate your results. Are you better than you were when you started?
Right.
And I know for just a month that we've been working together, I feel like you're on a great path.
I feel like that too, because the things that you say, it's just so important to listen, you know, and you're open, you're understanding. It's not one way.
No, it can't be.
It's not one way.
It can't be. Okay, so here we're going to jump into this topic, and we're really going to jump into learning all about Sherrie Thomas. So Sherrie, tell us just from A to Z where you've been, where you are now, what your struggles have been, and just what makes you tick. And let's learn all about you.
I'm an introvert.
We're making her an extrovert today.
Yeah, she's definitely pulling me out of my comfort zone because I'm a mother of 3. I work.
We've got some pictures of your kids,
my
too.
Babies.
Look at that. I love
my
it.
Babies.
So you got 2 girls and a boy?
Yeah.
I've got 2 boys and a girl, but look how precious.
And they're artists as well.
Now, was it the youngest one or the middle one that was with you when we met?
My baby, the little bitty one.
Oh, my gosh. So amazing. Okay, now tell the story about how we met.
We were at an office supply store, and ironically, I was on my way to a whole nother event. And I had went there the Saturday before to get business cards. And technically, if you're there before 2, you're guaranteed business cards the same day. I was there for 2 hours. No help, no service. And I'm a busy mom. I had my day planned out. I was like, okay, I can't wait longer than 2 hours, so I had to leave. So the next day, I honestly wasn't going to go back. I was like, I'm not going back. Well, my baby wanted me to make a T-shirt for her. And she had a picture. She said, Mom, can you put this on a T-shirt? So I needed materials.
You had to go.
Had to go back because I'm not going to tell her no.
No.
So I go back and I'm waiting again. Well, this day I had her with me. And I was there for 15 to 20 minutes. Still, same
No
thing,
service.
no service, no results. And I was hurt. I was hurt, and I was thinking, I was like, okay, there's so many things going on in the world today. I was like, Sherrie, you're not going to be a part of that. You're going to be the bigger person. You just leave, you know? So I had Tracy. I was like, baby, we're going to go home. Mom is going to get the materials, I promise. Give me about a week. I'll get the materials for you. Well, on my way out, something told me to say something. So I did. I walked up to her, and I just looked at her. And, you know, I was trying not to cry. I was like, thank you for not helping me.
That's exactly what you said.
Yeah, because I was like, and you started speaking to me. I was talking to a whole nother lady, and she started talking to me. She was like, that happened to me a week ago. And I was like, at the time I didn't know who she was. I was like, I've been working on this for a long time, for years. And I said, imagine working on something for 5 to 6 years or more, and all it boils down to is a business card.
That's all that you know. So this is what was crazy is I was at jury duty that day, and everybody knows you don't really want to stay and hang out at jury duty. So I was at jury duty. I had gotten off. I was actually supposed to meet someone at 4:30. And I just happened to call them at 4:15 after I had already spoken to them that morning saying, hey, we're going to meet at 4:30. We're going to meet at 4:30. It was set. And I happened to call her at 4:15, and she said, Jens, I'm not going to be able to make it. I go over to this office supply, and I see Sherrie, and she's just beautiful. And you were there with your daughter. And when she was walking out, the look in your eye was just, you were so hurt. You really were. I mean, you were hurt. You had not been treated well. And you just, when you said, I thank you, it's just what she said. She just was so kind and so sweet. But when you said thank you so much for not serving me and helping me, I just looked at those eyes and I hugged a stranger.
She did.
I hugged a stranger. I just hugged her, and you just started to cry. But this is what I loved, was your little girl was looking up at me and you hugging one another, and she smiled so big. And it was just, she was so happy that somebody was being nice. You know, that's the thing, is that's getting out of your comfort zone. You can use the,
I told myself I'm not crying today.
you can use the Kleenex. There we go.
It was so much more. It was like,
But then you were saying, so you were like, you had just had all of this, because here's the thing. We know there's a lot of single moms out there. I was a single mom, and here's the thing. It's hard being a single mom. It's a struggle being a single mom. I mean, and I don't know, I can see this already with you, but when you're a mom and your kids are kids, you take it all, because you want your kids to be kids. You want your kids to focus on everything they need to be focused on. And so you have the weight of weight of the world on your shoulders. And that's exactly what was going on.
well, it was work, and then in the midst of working, trying to pursue a dream, because I'm an artist, and I had a huge event, and there was going to be some celebrity guests there. I made it to the event. Everything was accomplished. I was able to network, you know, because I had a few business cards left at home. Thank God. But meeting you, it was so beautiful, because I talk to my kids all the time, and I tell them, I was like, before you introduce yourself, your spirit speaks for you. And that day, like, before you spoke, before you introduced yourself, it was just something about your presence that was just so beautiful. And that's why I was like, she's been having me cry all week, and I'm trying not to.
She's going to make me cry now.
Because you're a positive person, and you need people like that, and you need more people like that in your life.
That's exactly.
As many as you can get.
Yeah, and you know what? Here's the thing, too, is, but that was one of the things that you were saying, is you were praying. What were you praying for?
More people.
You were
more positive people in my life, because it's one thing to have some, but it's like I needed expansion, growth, and more positive people, because the more people you have around you that are positive or on the same path, the more that you can learn from them. And, just
Well, it's so important. And here's a couple things. Number one, a lot of times people are not associating with the right people. I mean, just face it, okay? You know who you are. You know who you are. You're hanging around with people that you really shouldn't be hanging around with. They are negative. They're beating you down. I have a whole term called the beat down. The beat down. People are beating you down and you're letting it. And then before you know it, you start beating yourself down. But I think it's really important that you are associating with people that are farther along the journey, the path, so to speak, than you are, because you have to be poured into, and you got to pour into other people. In fact, I'm managing director for an organization, E-Woman Network, here locally in Dallas, and we just had Nancy Lieberman, who is a phenomena. Yeah. She's incredible, a trailblazer for women, but her mentor was Muhammad Ali, and I love it when she calls me up, and I get off the phone with her, and I think Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time, was pouring into her.
Right.
She turns around, pours into me. I turn around, pour into you. You turn around and pour into other people, because you can't succeed alone. But you have to be with the right people. And we had a blast last Thursday at that event as well.
It was so nice. And Nancy, her book is amazing.
Oh yeah, it'll change your life for sure.
Yeah.
It's a playbook for success. But I want to show people some of your jewelry, because we've got now obviously I've got on, but so let's look at this and explain to them what they're looking at right here.
Well, I'm an abstract artist and I work with natural stones. So the green one is malachite. There's ice calcite, which are the earrings. They're just natural stone. There's amethyst bracelets, black tourmaline. Like, I love natural stones because I believe that there's like a certain energy.
Yes, exactly. And you're big on energy, and that's the thing. Yeah. Is first of all, we're made of energy. We are made of energy, and our thoughts actually create our energy. So if they put little wires on our head right now, we would get a score. We would get an energy score. And the more positive that you are, the higher the score is. And you know that saying, what goes around comes around?
Yes.
Because this is quantum science, folks. I'm not making this up. But we actually have energy fields around us. And when you have a energy score that's a certain level or above, that your energy goes back and forth and it flows.
Right.
But when it's down, it actually closes that energy field. And so all that doubt and that negativity and all those just ugly feelings that we don't want to have, it actually hits and it comes back to us. So it is big, and I think that's a really good tip on how do you find the right people instead of posers. And don't get me started about the posers, because there are people out there that are posers, but you could feel the energy.
And it's so funny how you speak about energy, because I was just telling my kids, I was like, you got to purify your life the same way you purify your water.
That is a really good point.
You filter your life, you filter your heart, you filter the energy around you. All of that is important.
I love that. Okay, now is this malachite that I'm wearing? What is
that?
This
was actually my first
This was
prototype.
Her very first one.
Very, very first prototype. And at that stage, I was just trying to challenge myself, because there's this one designer, Terry Datcher.
Mm-hmm.
She makes amazing jewelry, and I went to a show and I helped her out one day, and this was years ago, probably 8 or more years ago. And at the end of the show, she handed me a gift, and the gift was a necklace, and it was red and black stones. It was so beautiful. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow, I made jewelry at that time, but never did I think to use wire or try to even
this
do
has got
it.
Wire all in it. I mean, it's gorgeous. I'm serious. I love it.
That's the first prototype.
And you can have one too. We're going to tell you how you get that. But okay, let's look at some pictures of some shoes that you've made, because this is what is, I just think they're gorgeous. Now,
I'm a feet person.
tell them about your shoes there.
I love shoes, and you know how sometimes you go to the store and you're like, wow, I like that shoe, but I wish it had more bling.
Exactly.
You know, and the one in the top right corner is actually not a shoe. That's actually it's like, I call it a slip in. It's something you can put your foot in, go on the beach with, vacations.
And it's gorgeous. It's beautiful because you gave me some.
Yes.
You gave me. So I just want everybody to know that if you come over to my pool or if you come and hang out with me and go to the beach, I'm going to be wearing those. And they're amazing. So it's like you're barefoot, but it's jewelry for your feet.
Right.
And they're beautiful, and they do look like little sandals. But I'm telling you what, I think I need to become an investor in. I think this is a good idea, Sherrie. I'm going to start investing, and y'all need to get her
She's
stuff.
done so much already just by her wearing it. Like, look at the outfit she's wearing.
Well,
it's beautiful.
This top, and it's got a gorgeous skirt that goes with it. Jay Bolan, I love me some Jay Bolan. This, and he's here in Dallas, a celebrity stylist, and then Sherrie Thomas, designs by Sherrie Thomas. I mean, it's amazing, but because we want to do a really good job about keeping the show to 30 minutes, and we're not going to always meet that goal. I'm telling you right now, we're not going to. But the cool thing is with Sherrie, we met May 21st, and I'm going to have her on. I'm going to have her keep coming on, awesome. Because and I think there's a couple things that I want to bring out. Number one is when you're with the right people, good things happen.
Very true.
And good things have been happening.
A lot of good things.
A lot of good things have been happening. And that's kind of one of the things that, you can't succeed alone. Just like our body, your body is a collective group of a bunch of different parts, and that's how it succeeds. Well, we're all sent here to this earth with certain gifts and talents, and we don't have to be talented in everything, but we're not ever going to be able to succeed by ourselves. You've got to pull together with good people. So you have been pulled together with me, and I've got you connected to other people, because that's what another good person does, and a real leader. They connect you with other real leaders. And believe me, this is just the beginning of what you're going to see with Sherrie Thomas. Honestly.
Well, since I've been speaking with you, I've landed a couple of deals, which was so exciting, because without your encouragement to step outside of my comfort zone and speak to people, more,
Exactly.
then I probably would have never landed those deals.
No, not at all. Okay, so a couple things. Here's a question, and we're going to put it up on the screen because I want you to think about it. Have you been trying to succeed alone? All right. Now, I want us to have a conversation about this. I want you to be honest. Have you been trying to succeed alone in your life? Has it been for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, your whole entire life? And then I want you to ask the question, how's it working out?
Right.
How's it working out? It doesn't work out. All right. Second question I want you to ask yourself, which really would be your third question, is do you have any good leaders that you're connected to? And Rick's going to put that up too, because I want you to think, am I connected to good leaders? And if you are connected to good leaders, you're going to hitch your wagon to those leaders, and you're never going to let go, because good leaders continue to develop themselves. But if the question is no, I'm not connected to any good leaders, I want you to do an inventory and reach out to me, reach out to the people that are watching this show, that are making these amazing comments, because good leaders also hang out with other good leaders.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with adding more.
You have to. You always have to be adding
There's
good
nothing
leaders.
wrong with that.
No, you have. In fact, you got to be. And then the last question I want you to ask yourself is, are you better today than you were last year? And I really do want you to put a comment below. And I want you to think, Sherrie, here it is. It's June. And look back on June last year. Are you better today?
Yes.
And tell me what and why you're better today. Just
reinvesting in yourself is so important, and I can't even stress that enough. If that would be the only nugget that I could leave today, is to reinvest in yourself. The same amount of effort that you put into your regular 9 to 5, you put that same effort into yourself, because if no one else deserves that more, than you.
No, 100%. And this is the thing is, in my mind, it's step number one is you. It's your foundation. And if you're not reinvesting in yourself, you're not going to go anywhere.
Right.
You know, step number two is your career and your profession. And so many people, they try to start on step number two, but step number two doesn't work if you are not working on yourself as a foundation. So I love that. And then, of course, step number three is legacy. And when you work on yourself, and working on yourself means investing in yourself in a lot of different ways. You know, so many people will go out and spend so much money on their clothes, but they don't spend money investing in themselves, which blows my mind. You got to invest in yourselves, folks. So I think that's really, really important. And we are going to leave you like we leave every one of our shows with laughter is the best medicine. Okay, we're going to listen to this. Hopefully we're going to be able to hear this because it's hysterical. In honor of Father's Day, Rick's going to do a little, see if he can get, you know, sometimes technical things aren't as easy as they appear. And I'm glad I'm on this side of the camera
Right.
and not on Rick's side of the camera. But I'll tell you what he's pulling up.
Laughter is the best medicine.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to see. Hey, we're going to see. We're going to see if this works. But, you know, in honor of Father's Day, one of the things I do, because every day you need to laugh. I tell people I want you laughing and I want you cracking up. I mean, I want you laughing and cracking up. Okay. All right. Okay. Here we go. Here we go.
Can you help me?
These are some dads changing some diapers.
That's a skill. It's a hard skill. Oh no. I saw this and I laughed so hard. I was like,
Hey.
Oh my God.
this one was my favorite.
No, not Gucci, Gucci,
Not good.
Oh my God.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Please, bro. Please, bro.
Okay, so
So
what I want you to do, all right, folks? I mean, seriously, I have gotten some funny videos. And in fact, my son, I told my son I'm getting him on this. I'm going to have him find us some funny videos as well. But I want you sending these videos in. And what would be really fun is if you send some videos from your family and your friends. I mean, I will tell you, this was pre-cell phone days. My sister, we were watching a scary movie one time, and she said, "Jens, I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed early." And I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna leave me here to watch this scary show by myself?" And she did. But guess what she did, Sherrie? She went under the bed and hid. So when I got in bed and I was she grabbed my ankles. You know who you are, Dawn Evelyn. You know you did that. I mean, I was like, okay, just think about the priceless video if she had one of my other siblings videoing that. Okay, I want y'all doing that. Okay, I know you do it anyway. So I want you to send us those videos, Laughter is the Best Medicine, and Ask a Life Coach videos to me directly at jens@jensjohnson.com. And I'll leave that in the comment section. But before we close, Sherrie, do you have any parting words that you want to share with everybody?
I actually have a gift.
Oh my!
I had did this morning before I got here. I don't know. It was just on my heart. I might have to redo it later, but I want you to read it out loud.
Oh my gosh! It's a shirt that says "Big Bold You." I hope I can fit into this. You think I can fit into this? I love it.
Awesome.
Okay, now all my guests, don't feel like you have to bring me a gift. You're setting a precedence, girl.
My
This
son
is
cut this out.
Big Bold You, Jens Johnson. I love that. It's amazing. I love you. But you know what? We have to all be bigger, be bolder, so you can become the best versions of you.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Sherrie, for coming in. Remember, I love you. Remember, you can't succeed alone, and you got to find the right people. So until we meet again, be big, be bold, and most importantly, be you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.